Hello, welcome to Prime Sports. My name is Daniel Cranting. Zoom straight into our stories, and the Black Queens of Ghana have dropped in the latest FIFA rankings despite bagging a spot in the upcoming Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Ghana beat Namibia 3-2 on aggregate to qualify for the 2024 AFCON to be held in Morocco. 12 teams will compete in that tournament. Despite making a return to the showpiece continental event, Ghana dropped 2 spots in the rankings that were published earlier today by the Football World Governing Body, FIFA. Ghana ranked 4th in Africa and 61st overall in the 2023 World Cup participants. Nigeria, South Africa and Morocco leading the African standings. Mali was the only African nation to move up in the rankings among the top ranked teams on the continent. The West African nation moved up from 82nd to 81st after booking a spot in Morocco next year. We are joined in studio by Joy Sports women's football correspondent Lawrence Bedu. Lauren, just tell us more on it. What we know is that the Black Queens didn't move up a place in the African rankings, but dropped in the FIFA World Rankings. How?
The performance on the African scene has been very evident. We have seen what they have been doing, playing the AFCON qualifiers, playing some friendlies. It's been good. I think that propelled us to move from 5th to the 4th position on the continent. So Cameroon drops to 5th. Cameroon used to occupy the 3rd position, but they dropped to 5th, and Ghana moved up to 4th. On the international scene, I think Croatia and then Iran are the countries to have moved up above Ghana, with Morocco also dropping on the international scene. You want to understand why some of these things happen. It's the fact that Croatia and Iran have the opportunities to play as much games as the international window is open for them, but then we are limited in terms of the games we want to play, in terms of the opponents you want to face. So I thought that has the kind of opposition we have faced and the ones they have faced has contributed to we dropping on the international scene. But on the African scene, we've done quite brilliantly since Nora took over, and then that has left us jumping from 5th to 4th on the CAF ranking.
So if I get you right, the quality of opposition we are facing, on top of the fact that we've not faced as many teams as the rest of the guys who moved on top of us, has also cost us. Let's talk about the Black Queens pre and then post Nora Haptel, for current Nora Haptel. What changed? Yes, we know that new head coach comes in, results are changing, but we've also seen some 1 or 2 changes in the squad or the squad makeup. What exactly, or what combination of factors has caused this?
In the past, one thing that the head coaches of the Black Queens have found difficult was getting foreign players available. It was the case of whether the GFA will make payments for these players to come down, join the team. We saw it when they were playing the qualifiers for the last edition of the WAFCON, which we failed to qualify. We lost 2-0 in Nigeria, and then when we came to Accra, we won 1-0. If we had some of these players available, probably the story would have been different. If you look at this current team, I think we have just, from the last squad that played for the qualifier, we have just 3 local players inside. It tells you that a chunk of these players under Nora are foreign based. So they bring in quality that you don't see on the local scene. I guess the fact that we want local players in the team, but you also want materials that will probably make your work easier, quality that will move you forward, quality that will probably make your team a better side than your opponent. So it's one thing that we've done right, getting the foreign-based players to come down in time to gel with the, players who are already in camp, the local players, and then get the team going. That's one thing that Messi Tego didn't get. So I think Nora coming in, ensuring that she gets all her demands at that particular time, even if it's for a friendly, gives it a different variety, because now we are returning to a tournament that we've not played since 2018, and it's something that probably we should commend Nora for.
Okay, we know the competition is in Morocco next year. Do we know when exactly it is?
As at now, we are still awaiting confirmation from CAF when the draw will take place, and then when the competition itself will take place. But there are rumors that we could be heading for a July tournament, which probably I think will suit some of these players, because by July you have most of the clubs on break, trying to enjoy preseason, So if you have your players available during that time, which doesn't, it doesn't coincide with the club football as we have seen in the men's side. It's quite
helpful.
Yeah, it will be quite helpful. And then the July July date will also help some of these players avail themselves, help the coaches get the best of their players available, and then they'll move on from there.
Let's talk about what next for the Black Queens. We know there's an Olympic qualifier.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as yes, we steal that ticket for the Alcon, we're also looking to seal a place in the Olympics for the first time in a very, very long time. Tell us, who are we facing? What are our chances?
It's not actually a first time in a very long time. If we should qualify, it will be the very first time that we are going to the tournament. I mean, one of the questions I asked Nora when the team touched down was the fact that, I mean, we are crying to be at tournaments. Now we've got one. Is it the case of fighting for another? Because if you look at the time difference between when the AFCON, the date for the AFCON we played and then that of the Olympic Games, there's not much in between. So you want to look at whether she will probably sacrifice the Olympic slots and then focus mainly on it. And she's like, I mean, she wants the best. She wants to compete at all levels. So if there's an opportunity to make it happen, they'll fight for it and they'll go for everything. So in February, I think we'll see if we are up to that level against Zambia, a Zambian team that played at the World Cup. That will also be another test for the Black Queens.
Oh, definitely a very, very, very difficult one. Barbara Banda, superstar of the Zambian team. But quickly before you go, we've heard that there's been some ramblings about bonuses with the Black Queens. It seems to be almost like a recurring thing when it comes to our women.
I mean, it's getting very worrying because you look at the performance they've put out all year. You expect that some of these issues will be cleared. We won't hear any stories going into tournaments. I mean, it's quite worrying. The Deputy Sports Minister had an interview where he says the FA is yet to present, I mean, their document, their report for the qualifiers. If that is the case, we urge the FA to speed up these some of these processes and then get to the ministry so that some of these things are clear, because the girls need a clear mind. They need to go into a tournament, go into a new calendar year looking, I mean, like, we have everything settled, we have everything in place to kill ourselves for the nation. We don't see some of these stories when the Black Stars or the Black Satellites, the male side play. But then if we are hearing these stories from our senior female national team, it's a bit worrying. I don't know what we're going through their mind, but then we are urging them to solve all issues before we go into the calendar year.
I know I said that was the last one, but just a quick one for viewers. Does the ranking increase our chances when it comes to the Alcon draw in terms of seedings or something?
I mean, it does, because the top 4 teams will be seeded. You don't get to face, I mean, some of the heavyweights. So you are moving away from facing the likes of Nigeria, facing the likes of Morocco early in the competition. So that really helps us.
Thank you very much. That was Lawrence Bedu, our women's football correspondent. Let's do something. You know, the Liverpool versus Manchester United game is the highlight of the fixtures for the Premier League, but let's look at a full list of fixtures this weekend. Nottingham Forest, they will take on Tottenham Hotspur. In fact, it's happening as we speak, Friday night fixture. Then Bournemouth will take on Luton. Chelsea will host Sheffield United. Manchester City, the defending champions, will be at home against Jordan Ayew's Crystal Palace. Newcastle will take on Fulham. Burnley will take on Everton. Arsenal will take on Brighton. Brentford will host Aston Villa. West Ham United with Mohamed Kudus will take on Wolves. And then, as we know, on Sunday, 4:30, kickoff time, Liverpool welcome their bitter rivals, Manchester United. Now it's now time for the latest from Germany's domestic football league, the Bundesliga. And for that, we are joined by Chris Harrington from DW, our partner station in Berlin. Chris, you mentioned both Bayern, Stuttgart, and Frankfurt Leverkusen as matches for us to tip ahead of this weekend.
Yeah, that's indeed the case right now, because when you factor in there's one outlier, right? Bayern and Union Berlin have a match to make up. So it's really hard to get a feel for how close things are on the standings, because we have no idea what the outcome of that particular match will be. But when you look at Bayern Stuttgart, this particular fixture, there's so much at stake, of course. But Stuttgart's always kind of put up a fight against Bayern Munich. That's one thing you can look at. Now, Bayern have not been defeated by Stuttgart, but they have dropped points in recent fixtures. So that particular match, you could argue, you look at, the form Bayern has been bringing to the pitch defensively. This could be something to exploit with Stuttgart. They have Guirassy has been spectacular. He's back in the lineup and so forth. That can be an opportunity for him to level things in terms of goal production with Harry Kane, who leads the league with goals right now with 18. so that fixture is very important. Now, when I look at Frankfurt and Leverkusen, this has been a back and forth battle, literally back and forth battle. Leverkusen won the most recent, then Frankfurt, then Leverkusen, then Frankfurt, and Frankfurt just slayed the dragon, right? Frankfurt's coming off a huge win, a lot of momentum, a lot of wind behind their sail right now because they did the unthinkable and they did it in embarrassing fashion. I mean, 5 goals, to 1 is quite the lopsided outcome. So there's so much, at stake, as I mentioned, in these particular matches. And then these teams want to finish the year strong, right? We have a little bit of hangover into 2024 until there's literally, half of the matches have been played out, but still, before the holidays start and so on, these teams want to have all of the momentum behind them. Both Bayern and Leverkusen will be coming off of Champions League matches. So we have to wait and see what's left in the tank for these sides, but I don't think their opponents will make it easy.
Yeah, you mentioned Sergio Guirassy. Manchester United are reportedly targeting a move for the Stuttgart forward in the January transfer window.
Yeah, it makes sense. You look at the numbers he's been putting up. They've been out of this world, literally. And he missed. He was injured. He was sidelined, for a few games. But he was the most productive at one point, earlier on in the season. Most productive striker in all of European football in terms of how many goals per minute he was producing. And you look at Manchester United, they're in search of some attacking reinforcements. They have to get things done. We have really no idea what Jadon Sancho and his future is. He's expected to depart as well. So Manchester United is doing the right thing. They're looking at where they can maybe get a good deal, get a good investment. And when you look at a Bundesliga player, Guirassy, and you look at his age, he would be quite the investment and a really good deal for a Manchester United side looking to strengthen things. You have to factor in how they're doing domestically. The Red Devils suffered their 4th Premier League defeat recently, so they're not looking good at all. And I would assume there'll be more defeats to come in the near future. But he's not the only player that has caught their attention. You look at his numbers, 16 goals in 11 Bundesliga outings with Guirassy, but there's also a younger player from RB Leipzig that's caught their attention as well. RB Leipzig's Openda, 23 years old, 14 goals, 21 games. He's also been put on Manchester United's radar. So it seems that United, maybe be considering a swap deal because it is rumored that Jadon Sancho will return to the Bundesliga and maybe Man United is just looking in the Bundesliga to find viable replacements. You can't deny the numbers put up by Guirassy and Openda. They have been stellar, factoring in, such a short window of matches that have been played. So it makes sense. And I thought these stories caught my attention. I thought that I should bring them to yours.
Thank you very much for the Bundesliga update, Chris Harrington, from our partner station DW in Berlin. Let's look at a full list of the Bundesliga fixtures for this weekend. Yes, Borussia Mönchengladbach, they will play host to Werder Bremen. Bochum will host Union Berlin. Augsburg will take on Borussia Dortmund. Mainz will face off against Heidenheim. Then SV Darmstadt will play host to Wolfsburg. RB Leipzig will take on Hoffenheim. Freiburg will host Cologne. Bayer Leverkusen will take on Eintracht Frankfurt, who annihilated Bayern Munich by 5-1 last time around. And then the big one is between Bayern Munich and Stuttgart. Let's look at the Ghana Premier League fixtures for this weekend. Yes, Diana Stars, they will play at home against Bechim United. Hearts of Oak, after that defeat against bitter rivals Kotoko, will stay in Kumasi to take on Nations FC. BBN Gold Stars will take on Samatex. Bufakatano will play host to Legon Cities. RTU will face Brecum Chelsea. And then Kotoko will face off against Accra Great Olympics. Now, the opening ceremony of the Africa Basketball Festival took place at the Bukum Boxing Arena. Our cameras were there to capture the occasion.
It was an opportunity for people to socialize, drink, and have some fun as the 2023 Africa Basketball Festival begins. This year's edition of the Africa Basketball Festival has teams from Ghana, Nigeria, Togo, and Liberia forming the Africa contest, and the USA, France, and the Great Britain forming the international contests. Right Sports Chief Executive Officer Yao Sechi, whose dedication to the growth and development of basketball has seen the sport record tremendous strides in the past few years, is looking forward to another successful event.
Oh man, I mean, look at this. It's just beautiful. We have all countries here present, and we're looking forward to the commencement of the festival this weekend. So far, I think the highlight for the weekend will be the Accra Technical University of Ghana. Even though this Africa Basketball Festival is built around countries, but we're looking forward to exciting games tomorrow and Sunday. And so we're asking people to come out in their numbers to come and celebrate with us. We're seeing more countries. We adding number of days. Last year we did just a day. This year we're doing 3 days. And last year we didn't have the University Games. And this year we have a lot more, like we have the dunk contest, we have the three-point shootout contest. It's just going to be, I feel it's going to be more exciting than last year.
Team USA, who are already enjoying Ghana, can't wait to play their opponents.
Everything about Ghana, like I said, the people are very embracing, and it's just a beautiful experience.
We're expecting world-class competition. We've seen some of the teams practicing. We've seen Togo practice. They have a pretty solid team. We've seen a little bit of Ghana. So we're expecting the competition to be high, but we're ready to bring it as well. So our guys have been preparing for about 6 months now, and I think they're ready.
The inclusion of the much-anticipated game between the University of Ghana and Accra Technical University at the 2023 Africa Basketball Festival has generated conversation not just on the two campuses, but also among sports fans. Ahead of their clash with ATU, University of Ghana basketball team captain Kelvin Jones had some few words for their rivals.
I wouldn't talk much per se. I'll actually say it's a done deal because people are expecting to see back-to-back basketball game, but I'm not sure that's the game they are coming to witness because it's just a done deal. Yeah, it's an automatically win for us. So you shouldn't expect. Yeah, it's a smooth way for us. So people shouldn't expect this forth and back with Eugene and Legon. Yeah.
The competition will kick off at the Bukom Boxing Arena on Saturday, 16th and Sunday, 17th December from 3 p.m.
That's all for tonight's edition of Prime Sports. My name is Daniel Kranting. Thanks for your time.
Sports segments was brought to you by
Mender DBS Industries to you.
Let's go to DBS Industries.